So with division, we're going to be taking the next step to having two-digit quotients. Now, when we're working, we are still following the same steps as dad, mom, sister, brother, rover, or divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, remainder. First, we're not going to be working with remainders. Everything should be going in evenly, and then we will take the step further to work with remainders. When you see these division problems, you always follow those same steps. So if it's 100, there's numbers in the hundreds digits, you would still follow those same steps to solve your problems as the divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, remainder. Now, if you bring down a number, you don't go into your remainder. You start over again with divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So we'll see those steps here. So our first step, we want to be looking at this problem, 96 divided by 4. Now, 96 is a greater number, and we see that 9 is greater than 4. So if the number is greater than the dividend, so if our dividend is greater than our divisor, so 96 is greater than 4, we want to see how many times 4 goes into 9. So our dividend is 9, our divisor is 4. How many times can 4 go in just to the number 9? So we know 4, 8, 12. So 12 is too much, so we would 4, 8. We would put our 2 at the top. Then we multiply 2 times 4 equals 8. We want to have that lined up with our 9 because we're only working with the 9. 9 minus 8 equals 1. Now this is when you would bring down that 6. You would have 16. Now you want to think, what number times 4 equals 16? Well, we know 4, 8, 12, 16. So 4 times 4 equals 16. You put our 4 above the 6. 4 times 4 equals 16. You subtract 16 minus 16 equals 0. So as you notice, when we brought that number down, we started all over again. So we're going to do 2 more examples. We have 32 divided by 2. We see that 3 is greater than 2. So how many times can 2 go into 3? So 2, 4. We know 4 is too big, so 2 can only go in 1 time. Then we want to make sure that's above our 3. 1 times 2 equals 2. Again, we want to make sure it's lined up. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Now there is the 2 that you can bring down. Then 12, then you want to start all over again. How many times can 2 go into 12? You want to divide 12 by 2. We know 12 divided by 2 is 6. We're going to put this above that 2 because we're working now with this column. 6 times 2 equals 12. 12 minus 12 equals 0. Again, we're following the steps of divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. If there's something else to bring down, you start back at divide. All right, so now let's look at 65, I'm sorry. We see that 6 is greater than 5. We know that 5 can go into 6 1 time. 1 times 5 equals 5. Then our next step is to subtract. 6 minus 5 equals 1. You want to bring down this next 5. Then you want to divide. 15 divided by 5. We're back at our first step. We know 5, 10, 15. 5 can go into 15 3 times, or 15 divided by 5 is 3. I want to keep that in line over the 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. Our last step is to subtract. We have a 0, so that means there is no remainder and there is nothing else to bring down.